Hello, this video is the homework 37 5-3 worksheet. All right, this is the video key. Okay, so let's hope we can get this done, son. Okay, so as you know, the 5-3, just like your video, the 5-3 was slope-intercept. So slope-intercept formula. All right, y equals mx plus b, where this number, the coefficient of x, is the slope, and this number, b, is the y-intercept. Okay? And to graph these things, you're going to, 1, solve for y. 2, plot b. 3, use slope for points. Okay, and then draw a line. And that line represents the equation. So there's 3-4 steps there. Number 1, y equals 4x minus 2. The slope is 4. Now, I'll put a 1 because slope is rise over run. And you need that 1 there in the bottom to get the run. The y-intercept is -2. So solve y, plot b. Well, that's the y-intercept because it's y equals the slope times x plus the y-intercept. Then you're going to plot that -2. So you go down here and you put a point right at -2 on the y-axis. And then you're going to use the slope, which is 4 over 1. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, and you put another point, okay? Now you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1 for another point. Now 4 over 1 is the same as -4 over -1, so you can also start from b, which is -2 here. This point right here is 0, -2, the y-intercept. And you can go -4, -1, -2, -3, -4, and -1. You can see that it's still lined up. And then you draw a line as straight as you can. And that's what you get for number 1, y equals 4x minus 2. This equation, or this graph, is a picture of every x and y for this equation. So, yeah. Number 2, it's a little bit out of order, number 2, but what you got to do with number 2 is recognize that y equals mx plus b is really y equals -3x plus 6. So in this case, the slope is -3 over 1, and the y-intercept is 6. So I'm going to plot 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to do -3, which is -1, 2, 3, which is the rise, or the change in y, which is -3, +1. Now, -3 over 1 is the same as 3 over -1. So you can also do +1, 2, 3 over -1, and then you get the same line. And all of the xy points along this line are represented by this equation, y equals 6 minus 3x. Number 3, okay, this is 2 steps. Number 3 is 2 steps to solve y. You have to subtract 4x and then divide all terms by 3. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 4x, and I get to erase the 4x's on this side, and now I have 3y. Now these two terms have to be kept separate. And then you get negative 4x plus 12. You cannot add these two together. They must become separate. And then divide everything by 3. And I get y is equal to negative 4 over 3 times x plus 4. And I get 4 when I simplify 12 divided by 3. The y-intercept for this problem is 4. That's your b. Right? Y equals mx plus b. And then the slope is negative 4 over 3. All right? So you're going to plot that. You're going to plot your y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put a little point right there. And then you're going to do negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 3. Oops. So, and negative 4 over 3 is equal to 4 over negative 3. So instead of going negative 4 and positive 3, instead of doing that, I can also go positive 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, over negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and put another point right there. All right, so this graph is a straight line, and it looks like that. And all the points on this line, all the x's and y's, can be represented by this equation here. Or this equation, because we did it twice. We solved for y. Okay, so number 4, I'm going to subtract 5x and divide by negative 2 to solve for y. Divide by negative 2. So y equals 5 over 2. Now, it's positive because this negative and this negative make this positive. All right? Over 2. And then minus 5 because negative 2 into positive 10 gives us minus 5. All right, so the slope is 5 over 2, and the y-intercept is negative 5. Plot negative 5, use the slope. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5 on the y-axis, which is this axis right here. And then from negative 5 on the y-axis, I'm going to go positive 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because of this 5 right here, and positive 2, 1, 2. Now I'll keep going up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, positive 2. And this graph is a line. All the points along this line are represented by this equation here or there. Okay? All right, well, that's not easy, but you can do it. All right, so there's more to it here. We're going to continue to do this. There's a few more problems, okay? So problem number 5 is y equals negative 6x minus 1. There's only one step here, and that's to add the 6x. And they cancel out on the left-hand side of the equal sign. Y is equal to 6x minus 1. The slope is 6 over 1, and the y-intercept is negative 1. So the y-intercept is negative 1, positive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 1. Now remember, 6 over 1 is equal to negative 6 over negative 1, okay? So I can also put a point here, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 1. And I can also put another point right there. And you can see it lines up. And this one here, the next problem is going to require 2 steps. I'm going to add 3x and then divide by 6. All the terms by 6. So add 3x. I get 6y is equal to 3x plus 30. Now don't forget that these two terms you can't add them together, okay, because they're separate, see? One of them has an x in them. All right, dividing by 6. So y equals 3 over 6, x plus 5. Now, 3 over 6 is 1/2. So for the slope, I'll write 1/2. See? And the y-intercept is 5. All right. So I'm going to go up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a point right there. I'm going to go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Now I could go -1, -2 if I wanted to, but this line's not so bad. All right, and all the points along this line are represented by this equation right here. All right, moving on, then this one says write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, which is right here. Okay? So that y-intercept is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the slope I get from going from point to point. Now, the slope is the rise over the run. So I'm going to rise up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and run -1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do +6 over -3, which simplifies to -2. So now I have the m, which is -2, and I have the b, which is 6. So I'm going to substitute those in to y equals mx plus b. And in this problem, m is the slope, which is -2, and b is the y-intercept, which is 6. So the final answer for this problem is y equals -2x plus 6. That was problem 7. All right. Number 8 says find the slope of the line passing through the 2 points. So the formula is y2 minus y1, which is the change in y, divided by x2 minus x1. So we want to label and substitute, and then simplify. We're going to label, substitute, and simplify. Now, I only might have time for one of these problems. So we get x1, this is a label, y1, xy, x2, y2. So 6 minus 5, which is y2 minus y1, okay, over 2 minus -3, which is x2 minus x1. And then we're going to simplify. 6 minus 1 is 5, or 6 minus 5 is 1. 2 plus 3 is 5. So the slope between these 2 points, if I were to graph them up here or something, the slope of that line would be 1/5. All right, I'm going to go kind of fast with the last one. I'm almost out of time. 7 minus, I'm going to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So we get 7 minus -4 over -8 minus -8. And 7 minus -4 is 11, and then -8 minus a +8 is 0. So this slope is undefined. You can't divide by 0, so no slope. Okay? All right, there's 5-3 worksheet video answer key. Peace out.